What's going on, YouTube? This is Stack That Gold. This is actually my very first video. On this channel, I will be talking about why I first started stacking gold and other bullion, how you can start stacking your own bullion, tips and tricks related to buying and selling bullion, as well as showing you some cool coins from around the world. Now, first of all, how and why did I start collecting and stacking bullion? It started a few years ago when an offer was presented to me. It was an elderly gentleman whose father happened to be a bank teller in the Chicago area at the turn of the century. Now, his father at the time saved some of the gold coins he encountered on a daily basis. Just imagine, about 100 years ago, a bank teller actually had, double eagles and eagles, quarter eagles for everyday currency. So his father saved some of these, and he had them tucked away in his top drawer, and he had a watch that I had that he really wanted. So I said, why not trade a few of those gold coins for a watch? And the watch was maybe worth about $3,000 at the time. So he gave me 2 double eagles and an eagle for the watch, which at the time was probably a good trade. Now, this was a few years ago. This was around maybe 2018. That I've had those coins for a few years now. I didn't really think much of them. And then it was during March of 2020 when I became interested in bullion. I believe at the time platinum was fluctuating around 800 to 850. Gold, I don't recall exactly what it was, but it was somewhere maybe around 1500. Silver was, I know, around 16 an ounce, maybe a little bit more. So, it just got me thinking around this time. I was watching YouTube, and I said, I got these gold coins. Why not get them graded? So I submitted these coins for grade. A couple of them came back cleaned. One of them came back graded. Now, this is pre-33 American gold. There's different types of gold and bullion that people stack and collect. For me, I collect mostly, I'd say 50-50 pre-33 American gold and post-33 gold from around the world, bullion from around the world. Anyways, so it was during this time I also purchased 200-ounce bars of silver. I purchased them for about $16 an ounce. Now, a month or two later, all of a sudden, silver starts going up and up and up to over $23, $25 an ounce. And I'm saying, what factors are driving, bullion to go up so much? Well, obviously the pandemic caused a lot of uncertainty, so that definitely was a factor. There's also, some people would argue, there's market manipulation of precious metals, especially gold. There's also other factors that are at play, but for me, as far as an investment strategy, I'm looking at this as a long-term play. If you look at the historical trend in gold prices, starting from, let's say 1933 onward, you're going to see a huge increase in the value of gold. In fact, it wasn't even feasible to even produce gold coins after that time anyway, because the value of the gold was probably worth more than the value of the coin itself. But a lot of that had to do with Roosevelt and, having to pay back countries. He basically, passed laws that you couldn't hold more than $100 worth of gold, otherwise, you could risk a fine and possible jail time. Now, what a lot of people did was there wasn't any restriction on sending your gold overseas. So, what a lot of people did was send their gold over to vaults in Europe. And, in the 1970s, when you could legally own more than $100 worth of gold, which is crazy to think today that you couldn't own more than $100 worth of gold coins. But that was the reality before the 70s. Um, a lot of those coins were stuck in these European vaults, so a lot of these vaults started being opened up in the 80s and 90s, and even up until present day, and they started finding all these American coins where the majority of them were melted down, especially gold coins from the 30s. A lot of them were melted down. So for me, that's kind of the impetus that got me started collecting pre-33 gold. It just fascinated me that there's, countries all over the world that have their own gold. And, I started really looking into, buying gold, and gold bullion, especially, during the pandemic. For me, I look at the historic average again of gold going up over time, and I look at it compared to other assets. They say diversification is the way to reduce risk. So, you might want to take a certain percentage of your portfolio or your retirement, and, every week you might want to take a little bit and invest that towards purchasing bullion. If you look again at the historical trend in gold prices, they've only gone up. Now, this is why, for me personally, this is my investment strategy. I'm not trying to give any advice to anyone. This is just what I personally do. Is that, for me, I try to invest as much as I can afford into gold or gold bullion, because, stocks, they could go up and down. Crypto could go up and down. IRA, mutual funds, they could go up or down. You'd like to think that over the long run they do go up, which might be the case, but gold has, over the past 100 years, only gone up. It has not gone down. So this is what some people think: oh, gold is too risky to invest in, it fluctuates too much, it could go down. Well, yeah, obviously it does go down, it goes up, but if you look at the long-term trend in gold, it overall goes up. So that's my investment strategy, is to try to use it as a source of a retirement fund for me. I know in the long term that for me that is going to be something that I could get a decent return on, and know that it's going to be there no matter what, whether it goes up or down, it's going to be worth something. Well, that's about it for now. In my next videos, I'm going to be talking about other investment strategies and showing you some pretty cool coins that I personally purchased, and a little bit of history about them. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.